Good evening, everyone. We extend a very warm welcome to you all for the third version of for the speaker session being organized under the third version of the Plantation Drive. It is an initiative under Swachhta Pakhwada, which is a banner project by the Government of India. The Plantation Drive is one of the largest online plantation drive and has a pan-India reach. The drive is being organized in collaboration with Low Suit, which focuses on driving the world towards carbon neutrality and aims at bringing together individuals and organizations and asking them to reduce and erase their carbon footprints. Before beginning with the session, I would like to give a brief introduction about Haritima and what our vision exactly is. Haritima is one of the registered society under Hansraj College, and every step and every initiative that is being taken by the society aims at the well-being of the environment and in encouraging the youth and making them aware about their responsibilities and contributions towards the environment. Our commitment towards environment is clearly reflected in the four banner projects that the society is currently upon. The first project includes the project Million More, which aims at growing 10 lakh trees in 5 years within Delhi NCR. Currently, we have successfully organized two plantation drives and have around 6,700 plantations. And we have also organized several green programs under this project. Apart from that, we also have a project named Hans Chetna. It is an awareness centered program that aims at creating awareness among the youth and educating them about prevailing and new emerging environmental issues. We also have another project called Frames, which is the Nature Photography Club of Haritima, and is for all those who have a passion for environment and for photography and the true beauty of nature. Apart from that, the society is also working upon another animal project that aims to provide direct aid to the street animals and in helping the rescuer. Going forward with our vision and with our commitment, now like to request Sumit to take over and to introduce the speaker and the topic for the day.
Thank you, Nishita, for the warm introduction. Moving forward, I would like to introduce the speaker of the session, Ms. Maitri Beda, who is a mentor, herbalist, and a teacher for Plant-Based Skin Care Formulation, and also the founder at Plants Academy. She will be enlightening us on the topic. It is the magical world of plants and some of the fantastic plants and the ways to grow them. I welcome you, ma'am, on behalf of Hansraj College and Haritima Society. We are really grateful to you for accepting our invitation and gracing us with your presence. For all the participants, I would like to mention that there will be a question answer segment at the end of the session. So if you have any queries, please drop in the chat box. We will definitely take up them. At the end of the session, there will be attendance form. As you all know that we are having our plantation drive adoptive plant challenge 3.0. So the attendance form will carry some ranking criteria. So all the participants must fill it. It would be great if all the participants can please turn on their cameras. Plus, do keep in mind to mute yourself and maintain the decorum of the webinar. Thank you, and over to you, ma'am.
Ma'am, you are muted. Please unmute yourself.
I'm sorry. So thank you all so much for, first of all, calling me over here. Thank you to all the participants who have joined today. And welcome to you all to the magical world of plants. First of all, here is a little smallest thing. I am not going to talk to you about the fantastic plants and how to grow them. In fact, I'm going to talk to you about why not to grow some of the plants and why to grow some of the other plants. You cannot be growing all of the plants, and this is one of the myths that I'm going to burst out today. So starting with, we all know why plants are so important to us. I won't be getting into them. Also, I won't be getting into how do we grow them and why should we be growing them and all, because we all have read about it. We all know why plants are so important to us. There is no point getting into, each and everything and how do we grow them and all. But there is one question that I have for all of you over here present. We all know, right? Like plants give us food, oxygen, shelter, everything. But what is it in plants that makes them so special? Can anybody answer that? There has to be something in plants, right? Like if we are using them, if we are consuming them, there has to be something magical in plants that makes them so special. So can anybody tell me, like, some to color out? कोई बोल सकता है what makes these plants that we consume every day so special? Anybody who wants to give a try?
Yeah,
The
can
form
I
of
try?
energy.
Yes, Astitva.
Yeah, so I think the main point behind plants being, extraordinary is like their benefits, their natural benefits in our daily life,
Okay.
and the producers being in the food chain. I think that's the main thing.
Okay, so you are telling that plants benefit us, but what is it in plants that benefits us?
Initially will be oxygen.
Okay.
I think the pandemic has teached us what oxygen is all about.
Okay.
And yes, and then then it's secondary materials like rubber, and then leaves, and then घरेलू नुस्खे.
Right. You are somewhere close to the answer. Great try, Astitva. Anybody else who wants to try, or should I go ahead directly with the answer? They have phytochemicals in them. Yes, somebody has answered right. So it is basically these plants contain something called phytochemicals. Now, I am not a person of presentation. I'm a person of doodles and writing things down. So I'm just going to share my Photoshop with you, and I'm going to write things down before you all. So, okay. So it's called phyto, PHY, PO, phytochemicals, CHEMICALS. Now, phyto means plant-based. Okay, my hands are shaking. I'm a little bit nervous as well, so please don't mind. Phyto means plant-based. And chemicals, we all know they are all chemicals. So it is basically the all of our plants, they are made up of these phytochemicals. That means plant-based chemicals. Now, before me introducing you all to the plant-based chemicals, let us come to our body first. So we all are made up of these thousands of different chemicals, like Astitva said, like oxygen and everything, but they are molecules. Like chemicals are made up of oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen, and they all combine together. I won't go more details into the chemistry side, but we all are made up of different thousands of chemicals. Like either chemicals are being broken down in our body, or they are being made in our body, or there is a chemical reaction that is taking place in our body. Similarly, even in plants, there are thousands of different types of chemicals that are present in these plants. And it is these chemicals that we consume, that we eat, that we apply on our skin, or we use them in our medicines. We consume them in different ways. I am sure you must have heard of a thing called essential oils, which gives us aroma and all. They are nothing but phytochemicals. So in the end, the nutrition that you get, the medicinal properties that you get, everything is basically these phytochemicals that we consume. And the reason why these are magical in a way is because when we consume them, when we eat them, they know our body cells up to the cellular level, that because we are part of the same ecosystem, our plants, the molecule of the plants are also able to accept or our body cells are also able to accept these plant cells, and that is how the transition in our body takes place. So in the end, it is nothing but it is these phytochemicals that we are taking in. And the reason why I wanted to talk to you about these phytochemicals today is also because there is this one amazing concept that I believe in, and that needs to be like right now what is happening is, after lots of development in biotechnology, in biosciences, we have something called individual constituents. So there is this interesting concept that I want to talk to you about today is individual herbs, individual constituents versus whole herbs. So as I said, our plants are made up of thousands of different phytochemicals, and these phytochemicals have some effect on our body. So when I talk to you about phytochemicals, some of the examples of phytochemicals I would give is you have fats, proteins. They are all primary metabolites. Like, I won't go more in detail, but they are all phytochemicals. Then you have flavonoids, phenols, people who are in botany and who must have learned in biology. So these are all secondary metabolites, and these all contain, they are all kinds of phytochemicals. And when we consume them, we consume carbohydrates, we consume fats. These are nothing but phytochemicals. Now, here is the interesting thing that has been coming up in recent times, and somewhere down the line that has also been hurting our environment, especially our oceans, especially our aquatic life as well. And also there's lots of wastage, there is lots of like I said, wastage, and also lots of side effects when it comes to using these individual constituents. So what exactly is this individual constituent versus whole herbs? So anybody has heard this word called curcumin? I'll write it down over here. You can just raise your hands if you want. Anybody who has heard the word called curcumin? So you can just raise your hands in the Zoom. I just want to know how many people have heard the word called curcumin. No one? Okay. So okay, Manan Jain has raised hand. So one person knows what's curcumin. Okay. So basically, curcumin is this. We all know turmeric, and we all know why turmeric, ya haldi, is so important. Sometimes when we get hurt, the first thing that we apply is haldi. Haldi is also one of the part of the wedding rituals and everything. We use haldi for even in milk and everything for anti-inflammation properties and all. So nowadays, what has been happening is, it is this curcumin, that is a phytochemical that is present in haldi, that has been only extracted, and that has been sold, and that has been used in different medicines, and that has been used in as an individual constituent rather than using whole of haldi. So what happens is, instead of whole of haldi, which is constituted of thousands of different chemicals, you are just extracting one chemical, and the rest of the herbs is getting wasted. This one chemical is so potent. This one chemical has so much of side effects. This one chemical has, and it is not just curcumin. There are many such thousands of chemicals that have been individually extracted from these plants, and we are using them. It is not just curcumin. You would hear of the word called bioactives. Even in medicines, 20% of the actives are made by these individual extractions. So rather than using individual constituents, this is what, like, I am unfortunately, since you have not used or heard the word curcumin or anything like individual constituents, but this is the thing that is going on right now. So rather than buying products, rather than using products that contains only individual constituents, which harms the entire forests, which harms your oceans, which harms the seas, why not use the entire whole herb called haldi? Like, rather than using just individual constituent called curcumin that you buy for thousands of rupees in the market, you can just buy normal haldi, which is very sasta, and you can use it, apply it, and you will not just get the properties of that curcumin that is present in haldi, but also thousands of other different phytochemicals that are used in haldi. So this is the entire thing that I wanted to talk to you about when it comes to whole herbs versus individual constituents. Also, because today is like zero emissions day, and also because plants are one of the important parts of bringing down the carbon emissions also. So to continue with this phytochemicals, let me just also connect these phytochemicals to you with the zero emissions. Like, how do plants help in bringing down the carbon dioxide bringing down the carbon dioxide from the environment? So we all know that plants are made up of different kinds of phytochemicals, and these phytochemicals not only is helping plants for their own growth, for their own protection, but also we all know that plants make their own food, and this food is nothing but again in the form of phytochemicals. Now, since plants make their own food, they need something to make their own food, right? So it is basically plants absorb CO2 from the atmosphere. So 6 CO2 carbons, 6 CO2 carbon molecules plant takes in, so makes one molecule of glucose. And this glucose becomes the final, the basic, the building brick or the building block of the entire phytochemicals that are present in the plants. So one glucose molecule requires 6 CO2 molecules. Now just imagine the thousands of the 1,000 phytochemicals that are made with glucose. It will require so many carbon molecules in a way to build those things up. And bigger the plant, bigger the leaves, higher the plant, more carbon dioxide it will consume, and it will start making the phytochemicals with the chemical reactions. So unfortunately, now this is the place where I come in and tell you why is it not you can be growing all the plants and trees, and why you should not be also growing them. Like I said, these plants are made up of thousands of different phytochemicals. Now, these phytochemicals can only and only thrive, like they can only and only be made up, or they can be built in a way wherein you have the right temperature, the right water amount, the right nutritional amount in the soil, and everything else. So these days, what happens is we have been adding nitrogen, like I said, individual constituents, again making the soil as required for that particular plant. However, the percentages of the phytochemicals which are grown not in their local area, not into their season, the percentage of phytochemical decreases, the properties of that plant decreases, the amount in which the plant can reduce the carbon emissions, the amount in which the plant can help us in this ecosystem reduces. So that is the reason why, as opposed to the fact that you can grow any plant, or we have been seeing there are lots and lots of trees like Gulmohar tree that has been planted like we see in roads. Unfortunately, they do not give that much of ROI, like return on investment, as much as you will be growing local trees and local plants. Neem tree, banyan tree, all of these are localized to Indian weather, Indian environment, and also in India, because there is so much of difference in weather and climate. I would never ever suggest you all to grow plants. I do not ever give a list, okay, you can grow so and so plants, because it all depends on where you are staying, what are the local plants that are produced over there. And the best thing to know is just have a walk down in your market during different seasons, find out what is being sold the best, what is the things that are sold in trucks, or things that are sold by smaller people, bhaiyas and all. They are basically local produce, they are grown in your locality. And that is the reason why, when you use your local produce, or when you grow your plants locally, the amount of phytochemicals, the amount of properties that you get back in return, the amount of carbon dioxide that has been taken from the plants, the amount of oxygen that is given out by these plants, in a way the entire ecosystem between the plants, animals, and us increases. So wherever you want to grow your plants, if you want to grow trees, if you want to have a garden, I would always suggest to go for local and seasonal herbs. Also, because it helps in reducing down the carbon emissions that takes place during the transport as well. Like when you're buying seeds, or when you are growing when you're buying also local exotic fruits and vegetables and all, it also increases your carbon footprints in a way. So when you go for local and seasonal, you are reducing your carbon footprints in a way, and also helping when you're growing them, you're also helping in the ecosystem in a way by giving out more of oxygen and then taking in more of carbon dioxide. So having said that, go local and go seasonal when you are growing plants. Now, to end this, I just want to share, you can just grow snake plant, aloe vera, succulents. These are some of the plants that you grow at home that you can, these are the plants that not only absorb carbon dioxide, but also gives out oxygen even at night. We all know that in the night, plants take in oxygen and gives out carbon dioxide. But these are some of the plants that you can grow, which are throughout the world. You can grow. There is no require of seasons and all. So some of the plants that wherever you are, you can grow them are aloe vera, snake plant, succulents, and money plant. Apart from that, tulsi and shatavari are some of the herbs that you can grow in seasons, different kinds of seasons. So this was a little bit about plants, individual herbs versus individual constituents versus whole herbs. What makes the plant so special? It is the phytochemicals that makes the plant so special, and why you should be using whole herbs rather than individual constituents. So I hope aage jaake, when you are trying to buy any products, when you are trying to buy any skincare products, when you're trying to buy any medicines, when you're trying to buy any wellness type products, I would go for always whole herbs. You can grow your whole herbs for free rather than buying individual constituents. And some of the plants that you can grow at home are succulents, aloe vera, and all of those. And no, you cannot plant all of the trees and plants in a way at all of the houses in different places and all. It depends on where you are staying, what is the season, and what is the other different factors like soil and sunlight and everything. But having said that, it is not just that, it is various other things also that matters, what is present in the air and everything. So always go local and seasonal. So thank you all so much for this. And if there are any questions that you would want to ask.
Yeah, so there are few questions.
Please.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, so there are few questions. So my first question will be obviously from the course. I came to know about your course, the foundational course on plant-based skincare, which is a 4-month course. So if you could elaborate more about that course so that our audience be equipped with that.
Sure. So basically what I do, I'll just give a little bit of brief of what I do. So I don't, so I teach people how to use plants. So what we do is we extract these phytochemicals. So there are different ways of extracting these phytochemicals, and we use them in different products. To, like, in medicinal products, since I'm into skincare, so we use this into skincare products. So in this 4 months of the course, we learn more in details about these phytochemicals. What are these different kinds of phytochemicals that we use? How do we extract these phytochemicals, and then how do we use these phytochemicals to make a professional skincare product? So also, because we are into like I'm into skincare, so one module is all about skin science and everything, and then finally different kinds of product formulations. But the main highlight is about extracting these phytochemicals and everything. So
Yeah, so it's more related to practical approach.
I just share the pictures of some of the extractions that I have done. I hope you all can see the so these are my Instagram pictures. So these are all the extraction, the color extractions that so these are basically extractions of phytochemicals again. So when I say this is the blue pea butterfly flower extraction, so this is all blue in color. So basically they are flavonoids, phytochemicals called flavonoids, and it is basically the presence of flavonoids that gives the plants that pinkish, bluish, purplish colors. So if you want to extract these colors, you extract it. And then these flavonoids also have different properties onto our body and onto our skin. They are high in antioxidant. And also when you have this, they become like, you must have heard of blue pea butterfly tea. So they are high in antioxidant. They help in against the sun. They protect us against the UVA and UVB rays and all. So these are some of the properties of flavonoids. So we all know any plant that is blue in color or purplish in color, that means that flower or plant contains flavonoids, and that means that flower or a plant would be high in antioxidant. It would be saving us from the sun. Over here we have hibiscus. Hibiscus again contains different kinds of phytochemicals. So again over here it's reddish in color. So it's basically between flavonoids and also something called tannins. Now tannins are some of the phytochemicals that give other different kinds of colors and other different properties. So this is all. Now This is the extraction of alkanite root in oil. So you can see how the color
Yeah,
is being
yeah. If you could
extracted.
elaborate more about the extraction process, like it's something practical and innovative too.
Absolutely, I would love to do that. So in fact, you all can do this at home as well, and I'm sure you would all love it. This is one of the ways you can actually ask for alcohol from the parents as well. So the extractions, these extractions are done by various solvents that we use. And one of the amazing solvents that we use is vodka. So the best thing that you do is take a glass jar, simple glass jar. It's simple over here. It's a glass jar. You fill 1/4 of your glass jar with the herbs. Whatever herbs that you are using, you want to use, fill 1/4 of your glass jar with herbs. And the rest of your glass jar, you can fill with your vodka. Like this is nothing, this is oil, but over here, instead of oil, you can add vodka. There is this over here, which has been with here. So over here, so what happens is you can either add vodka. Why vodka also? Because you can use any different kind of alcohol per se, which has more than 40% of alcohol. So when you use, when you see the bottle of alcohol, पीछे लिखा होगा either 72 proof या फिर 42% of alcohol. So any alcohol that has more than 40% in it, you can use that. You can use brandy, you can use gin, you can use rum, you can use whiskey. You can use any of these alcohol to extract these phytochemicals. However, the reason why we go for vodka is because it's clearless, it's odorless, it does not have its own color and all. So when we want to extract these colors, when we want to extract the smell of these herbs and all, we use vodka. So if you want to extract them, if you want to use them, so when after extracting them, you can use it in your skincare, you can use it in your teas. You can make different types of teas of this. You can make different extractions of, lemongrass or curcumin, or not curcumin, turmeric and all. And say, for example, tomorrow, if you're not feeling well, you have an extraction of ginger with you. Like, you have a tincture of ginger. And if you're feeling like pukish, if you're feeling like vomiting, so you can just have that 1 or 2 drops under your tongue and you're good to go. So this is how also the medicine part works. In fact, the extraction of alcohol from the herbs is also used in homeopathy. So this is how like they are called mother tinctures, and this is called just plain tinctures. So this is how you can also extract your phytochemicals. You can
Yeah, so it's
extract it in
something
glycerine.
practical.
You can use it in, you can use vodka, you can use glycerine, and you can use apple cider vinegar. So simple thing, take a glass jar, fill up 1 part of, like, 1:4. 1 part is herb, other rest is your menstruum or the solvent. You can use vodka, you can use glycerine, 100% glycerine, vegetable glycerine, or apple cider vinegar. And then on top of that, if you have a metal bottle, if you have a metal bottle, I would suggest you to just have a cloth in between. Jo nani ke barni mein, I mean, nani jab apna, when she makes pickles, so she keeps that cloth between the dhakkan and the bottle. So just keep the cloth and dhakkan and the bottle, keep it for 3 weeks, strain it, and you're good to go.
Yeah, so this is something practical that we can learn.
Yeah, absolutely. I didn't know if I would love to show about this. I mean, talk about this more in detail. I mean, I don't mind.
Yeah, and it's something home-based, so I think it's innovative during pandemic.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, my second question is like, how did you get this idea about plantacademy.co? Like it's something virtual entrepreneur, I can say, a venture. How innovative is it? So this is something new.
Thank you so much. So I always have, so they are my best friends. I talk to plants. There have been times wherein, for me, plants are more important than humans in a way. Sorry to say that, but yes. So when right from the beginning, I have been very close to plants, and I always wanted to do something in nature. And then I got into herbalism and everything. So I kind of animate plants in my head. Like if there's hibiscus, so she's actually Mrs. Hibiscus for me, and she is this personality in a way wherein she is very calm, but she's also very strict. Basically, how the hibiscus is in a way. Similarly, Tulsi. Now, Tulsi is very strict as a person. She is like a professor who is like a principal for you. So this is all like when I read about plants or when I talk to them, I animate them, I give them a personality, And in the end, I want to like Plants Academy, like this is how I visualize is like having these characters coming up and playing and teaching you all as well about them.
Yeah, so I think you have equated plants with humans,
Yeah.
like Tulsi with professor and all that. Yeah. So my third question will be something related to your products, the difference between your products and Ayurvedic approach. Like, will you be equating it or differentiating it?
No, differentiating it because Ayurveda has lots of other different principles on which it is based on. Like Ayurveda is a philosophy in a way, wherein herbalism is just one of the things how you can use herbs in your day-to-day life. Wherein, so herbalism Ayurveda is a part of herbalism. But having said that, there are many other different philosophies that you need to consider when it comes to Ayurveda, like, your own body. Similar with herbalism as well, you need to consider a person's individual body. Like, you have different energies of the body, like, you have Kapha, Pitta, and Vata that we consider in Ayurveda. Similarly, in traditional Chinese medicine, you have something called yin and yang. So these are all the energies that body also has, and that even the herb has. And then in Ayurveda, we synchronize these energies along with the herbs and along with other different kind of like in Ayurveda, they also use metals, they also use other different kinds of non-plant based things, wherein in herbalism it's just plant based. But in Ayurveda we have, like, other different things also.
Yeah, so like, will you be considering Ayurveda as a science?
As a
Science, like as a science discipline?
yes, it can be considered as science, as a discipline, yes. If you read more in detail, yes.
Yeah, and what about your this herbal planting? Will you be considering it as science or a separate individual discipline?
So it's both. It's science plus art. So this is what I call
Yeah, it's
a herbalism
artistic,
in
so
a
yeah.
way.
Artistic.
Yeah, so it's a little bit of science. Yes, definitely, because phytochemicals and all color come under science. So yes, definitely it's a science. But apart from science, that you also have your own individual things added into this. Like when you will be talking to plants, or when you will be like, using plants, you will be having some different kind of an connect with the plants, and I would be having a different kind of a connect with plants, and I would be using them in a different way. So it's also an art, and it's also an individualistic personality that you can give it to the herbalism thing.
Yeah, so my fourth question is very much connected to this. Like in academic discipline, in especially sciences, we find it more about genetic technology and biotechnology, computer-based technology, stuff like that. So what about like including this discipline into sciences? Like, should this procedure should be included in syllabus, included in discipline, so that normal people are also equipped with this idea, this approach?
I did not get your question, I'm sorry. So genetics, and then what?
Yeah, like in sciences, we hardly study herbal things. We
Absolutely.
study genetic technology, biotechnology, and computer-based technology. So yeah, do you think it is important to include herbicides in that? Herbal things?
Absolutely, yes. Because this is something that like we have been growing up in our kitchen, we have been growing up like with it right from the beginning, like especially in India more, because nani ke nuske, and we all have been using them in a way. But somewhere down the line we need to know more about it. So yes, definitely, like growing up plants and have to use plants is very much important. Till now what I see is, like, where people are more into like, okay, let's grow plants and that's it. But there is also a science in using of plants, even culinary, like when we use these plants even in culinary areas, there is also science involved in that as well. So yes, definitely it should be there.
So there's a question in chat box, and it's a very simple question. Like, what are the benefits of eating tulsi leaves?
What are the benefits of eating tulsi leaves?
Tulsi leaves.
So tulsi is high in antioxidant. It's basically from the basil family. So basil, highly antimicrobial, antibacterial. So when you also it helps in removing of your mucus and all. So these are some of the things. Now, even in Tulsi, you have Ram Tulsi, Sham Tulsi, Krishna Tulsi.
Yeah.
So even in that, so when you're having Ram Tulsi, you will have more of the pungency and all that has basically warm energetic. Wherein if you have Krishna Tulsi, so when I say warm energetic, when you eat them, when you eat the Ram Tulsi, in a way, you will feel a little bit of warming energetic in your body, as compared to Krishna Tulsi, which is a little bit cooling in nature. So you will find a cooling energetic in a body. So there's lots of, again, when somebody asks me how can I use Tulsi or what Tulsi is good at, or if any one herb is good at, to be very honest, it becomes really very difficult to talk about one particular herb. But having said that, Tulsi, antibacterial, antimicrobial, very good in
I think it's
mucus for your
psychological
cold.
benefits also.
Tulsi, most of the herbs also have psychological benefits also,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, because being a student of psychology, I think I have read somewhere about Tulsi's psychological benefits. Okay, so
Absolutely, yes.
yeah. But there's another question in the chat box. Like, could you please equip us with us the techniques, the ideas about home plantation, particularly when it comes to Delhi, because Delhi is horribly polluted.
Home plantation in what way? Like, that's what I said, because Delhi is also in a place wherein it's polluted and all. I would suggest to go with basic plants like succulents, aloe vera, or any local herbs that are grown over there. So I won't be able to go more in detail as to which herbs you can grow, because I have not read more about what herbs grow near the Delhi area side. But yes, you can just, like, you can just narrow down your Google search, rather than which plant should I grow, which plants which plants are grown in Delhi, and you can probably grow them in.
Yeah, more about differentiating between indoor plants and outside plants.
Between differentiating between indoor plants and outdoor. I didn't get your question again.
Like, like air purifiers of the plants, like money, snake plants.
Right.
So we could grow more about snake plants and money plants in our house, inside our house.
Right.
And then outside, we could more about kitchen gardening and all that.
So basically, this again all depends on plants that you are growing, because some of the plants also require different kinds of factors. There are many other factors that are involved as well. So when it comes to outdoor plants, you can just grow mints and everything, which require lots of space again. So those are some of the things that you can grow outdoor. Indoor, any plant that grows in a pot in a way, and that does not require, again, like I said, indoor plants, what kind of sunlight, what kind of humidity, what kind of pollutants that you find in the thing. So wait, hold on, if you're talking about that, I had made a note before this. So snake plant, they absorb carbon monoxide. Chrysanthemums, money plant, they absorb humidity and maintain the temperature. So so if you want, I can make a list of this and I can give it to you. Like, I have created this list specially for
Yeah,
you
you
all.
could provide us this later. Yeah.
Pardon?
You could provide us it
I
later.
could do that. So I don't know what kind of question, in what way indoor and outdoor still you are looking for.
Okay, it doesn't matter. There's a question in chat box about the extract. Like, what are the benefits of extract and how can we use it in our daily life?
That's a great question. So when we consume these phytochemicals, when we are having these phytochemicals, and say, for example, when you are taking a bite of an apple, now it is not always necessary, like all of the phytochemicals that are present in the plants are easily digestible by us. There are various kinds of nutrients that are not easily digestible, and that gets wasted, like we remove them. So when we make extracts of these herbs, when we make extracts of these flowers, and we make extracts of these vegetables and fruits, what these does is it ferments it. It basically breaks down the complex molecules into simple molecules. And then when we have these extracts, like we just need to have it in like 2 to 3 drops. So when we have them, not only we just get the kind of phytochemicals that are digested by us, but also the properties of other phytochemicals, which in turn were not digested initially. So this is one of the ways that it becomes easily digestible by our body. Some of the phytochemicals our body does not make by themselves, and neither can be directly, like, say for example, vitamin C. So when we are having vitamin C, when we are having these extracts, it becomes very easy for our body to absorb these vitamin C easily in a way. So it helps. One of the things is it helps in helping our body absorb. Second thing is, like I said, the every phytochemical has some or the other action onto us. So say for example, tomorrow, if you are like I gave you an example of if you're feeling like pukish, so you can just have 1 or 2 drops of tincture, like ginger tincture. Say for example, tomorrow you have some kind of a swollen eye or a swollen hand, or there is some kind of an inflammation, you can use turmeric. If you have cold, you can use the mixture of ginger and tulsi and other basically other different lemongrass. You can have a combination of this. So it basically you have two different properties. One is the nutritional value and other is the medicinal value. So nutritional value will give you everyday nutrition that we need for our body. So these extracts provide basically the medicinal value majorly. So whenever you require anything that is in medicine based, something that's going wrong in your body, and you want something like herbs to solve those out, and we have been using them in a way day-to-day life as well. So you can use these herbal extracts instead.
Yeah, so there are many benefits about that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
now I will request my audience if someone would like to ask question, any doubt, any queries.
So what I can also do is, if people want to, if people are interested in making their own herbal extracts, I have a thing I can share it to you all. Like I'll share it with one of the group members, and you can share it with everybody if they want, if they're interested in making their own herbal extracts at home. They can do that.
Yeah, I think that would be very much beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Yes.
my last question is very simple. How can we, as young youth population, can contribute to nature? As a college student, as a community, as a citizen, how?
Yeah. How can you? That is a very generic question, to be very honest. You can just make a choice. It's all about choices that you have to make. Either you can take a choice that is giving a, like towards the carbon side, like towards the environment side, and you have a choice of not helping the environment. So it just comes down to what choices that you are undertaking when it comes to whatever you are doing. So say for example, like tomorrow, if you see a light just switched on, you can just switch it off. Like smallest of the things, if you are finding somebody throwing things over here and there, you can just pick it up. You can just segregate your waste. You can just start doing these small things, and this the smallest of the things will go a long way, rather than doing lots of bigger things and having a less impact. Rather than if everybody makes 1 or 2 small changes in their day-to-day life, that would probably have major impact. So probably make small choices and small decisions while choosing or having that thing.
Yeah, so thank you so much, ma'am. Now I will request Palak to kindly take on the stage, virtual stage.
Thank you,
so
Asatva.
much. Today we got an opportunity to hear your thoughts, and this will really be going to encourage us in our future actions. So, on the behalf of our society, I would now request our president, Mr. Krishna Mishra, to take over and impart a vote of thanks to our guest for sparing time and guiding us. Thank you.
Thanks, Palak. And first of all, I would like to thank Matri ma'am for wonderful and insightful session for all of us. And literally, like it is one of the good session for all of us. We are here to learn some new things. And apart from plantation, apart from just planting and digging the soil and planting, we also get to know about the chemical properties and the benefits out of the plants. Ma'am, really thanks a lot for joining us today. I would like to thank our principal ma'am, our convener, Dr. Kapila Malla ma'am, the whole team of Haritma who are here for organizing this wonderful session. I would like to thank the lawsuit, our collaboration party, which is helping us at every point of the drive to make it more successful, to make it more practical, and to make it more accessible to the people. I would like to thank all the participants who are today here, who are participating in our drive. I would like to request to please plant a good plants that are like the point that is raised by Maitri ma'am, that is local trees, regional trees. Please look for about regional trees, regional plants, and try to plant them in your surroundings and just cultivate the green trees with green hope and green soul. Really, thanks a lot, ma'am. We are we are very thankful to you to join us, and we are looking forward for future collaborations and you can say the better understanding workshops
Absolutely.
regarding the
Sure.
extractions. And definitely, we will send our volunteers and coordinators to you to like learn some new techniques of plantations and extractions. Thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you, Krishna, and thank you all so much.
Thank you, ma'am. All of you are requested to please fill the form, attendance form. It is there in the chat box. Please fill the attendance, and all of you are requested to start your drive formally. From tomorrow, you all can start sending your pics, your selfies with your plants, and share your very insightful and good experience with your plants. Like ma'am said, we should act plants, we should behave with plants like a human itself. उनका कुछ नाम रखिए like Mr. Tulsi, Miss Tulsi, and like enjoy the friendship with them and have a green bonding with them. And literally, I was the same person who are doing the same thing with the plants. This is the third version of Adopt a Plant Challenge Drive, and I have my two new friends till now. In the first version, I have a Mr. Ashok, and now in second, I have a Mr. Bargad. Bargad is now like grandfather type person. So this time, I'm thinking about some Miss category. So I'm thinking about pan beetle plant.
Absolutely.
So all
Just
of you
grow
are
them, name them. When you name your plants, you always have a direct connection to them. So, what is one more thing is once, it's not just about growing plants, it's also taking care of the plants after you grow them. And that is one of the biggest things when it comes to all of the things. Like people, we all can grow plants, but taking care of a plants is like, as good as taking care of a baby. So once when you name a
definitely.
plant, once when you, start, calling them, you will always have this connection to them, and automatically you will start taking care of them as well. So you will always have that. So it's not just about growing plants, it's also about taking care of them.
Ma'am, that is the same ideology. You can say the green ideology we are working on. And through this drive and with the help of lawsuit, we are working towards this green ideology to cultivate green ideology among the youth. I would like to request you to please participate in the drive itself.
Definitely, I will. Yes.
And thanks a lot, ma'am.
Thank you.
Saad, please take a community picture. All of you are requested to turn on your camera and have a good smile, green smile with Maitri ma'am. Saad, it is done.
Yeah.
I guess a lot of you have not turned on your cameras. So it will be great if all of you can turn on your cameras for the photo.
If someone would like to say something, किसी को कुछ अगर कहना है, अपनी बात करनी है, and anything else would you like to ask regarding the drive में जो भी चीजें हो रही हैं, कुछ questions हैं, you all are free to share, to ask in any language. It means मतलब हिंदी या इंग्लिश, कोई अगर और भाषा भी होगी तो कोशिश कर ली जाएगी.
Okay, it's done, guys. So I hope that we have learned a lot of good things from Maitri ma'am, and we'll definitely incorporate those in coming drive as well. So hoping for a good drive and a good plantation from all of you.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot for joining us. Thanks, ma'am. Thanks all the participants.